So, like I say, a lot of the stuff we talked about in setup now you're doing very, very well. We looked down the line from the previous shots. The posture was great. Distance from the ball was good. Just be mindful that ball doesn't get too far back. You can see on this one here now it's a little bit more just left of centre or nearer your front foot. So that's a better position to start with, okay? The issue was this trail hip, which caused some issues there with your lower half and how your spine then would end up being what we call tilted in the wrong direction. This is your previous swing here now. You can see going back, a little bit restrictive in the swing length as well. It's not the longest backswing, obviously. Spine angle now leaning here. Hips have stood outside that red line. From here, you've got basically two options. Either you're going to rotate your body from here now, and that'll end up swinging the golf club now very much to the left. Now, you might get a reasonable contact, but it's going to go to the left unless your hands do this sort of manipulation that we talked about. Or you've got to try and fire your left hip a good, foot and a half to the left to try and get back to some kind of resemblance of a good contact, which, as we said, is going to be very difficult to move that far that quickly. Like a quarter of a second, you're not going to get back there very easy. Okay, so that was your backswing here. Look at the difference. Now, we haven't said in terms of length of backswing, change the length of backswing, have we? I think you'd be quite surprised at this length of backswing when you watch it.
Oh, yes.
That, to me, I mean, I would say your arms look nice and relaxed as well. They're certainly maintaining some width. They don't look as, this looks quite locked and stiff there. That looks so much better in terms of your range of motion. Your right hip now is going around you nicely, okay? And now your left hip only has to move that far, which I think we can do, yeah? So we can get the left hip down to there, get back into impact. Really, I mean, if I'm being picky, I'd like your hands to be a little bit further left, but I wouldn't worry about trying to change that yet because then you've got enough to think about in any case. But other than that, that's a really, really good impact position. There's a thing that we talk about now called like the reverse K in terms of people. So left shoulder through that, left shoulder, left hip, arm. The arm would be a little bit further there, and that would be the shaft. So there's kind of your reverse K, yeah? That's what we'd be looking for as an ideal, perfect spot. You're not far from there now. And that's still fairly early in your kind of golfing career. So the engine is working better there. You're able to turn more.
I still move my hips.
Again, a little bit of move. The thing with golf is there's no perfect swing, and there's a window in which we can move within, yeah? So a little bit of hip slide is absolutely fine because a lot of that is probably more just range of motion, as you said. But I think if you keep practicing this, you'll probably find you're able to make that move a little bit more easily because you'll be doing it more and more and more. But from there now, at least you're able to move your left hip towards that left foot, so get back into impact. Whereas this one, I mean, to get to that, no chance. I mean, you try and get there, but you're on your back foot. You see your shoulders now are aiming way to the left. Your shadow of your head now is more over here as opposed to straight down there because of how you're hitting the ball. You're kind of going from here and you've twisted, so your head's looking further left. Everything now is just swinging left to target. So if you get a good contact, it's going left. So you're in that sort of quandary about, do I want to get a good contact but sacrifice direction, or try and affect direction to be better but sacrifice contact? So you're not really getting anything of any sort of desire there. So and then through to finish position, very, very nice. I think just in general, if we just watch the swing as a fluid motion, it looks kind of smooth and rhythmical as opposed to that sort of very disjointed, jerky move that we had, certainly from sort of lesson 1 and 2. So there's definitely some progress there in the movement. I would say if you was get that club, cross your shoulders there, and just, or your hands out, you don't have to have a golf club, and just get that rotation so you get the sensation that your right hip is moving away from that line. I think
it is, the right hip needs to go around a bit more.
It could go a little bit more.
It's not, that's why the leg's coming down.
Exactly, yeah.
I think it's
more, I would say, a flexibility. I would say issue, that's the wrong word, but it's a flexibility thing. If we could get that movement done 2 or 3 times a day, getting that sort of movement, you'll become more and more able to make that move. So therefore, the move will be better. But you're just trying to get that feel of what the body's doing here now. Turn, bump, and you get a bit of a rhythm of doing it. Turn, bump, yeah. And then you get faster, yeah. And the more you build up that speed, then it eventually becomes something that you go, actually, now this is what my body does. I'm not there. When you first started making that move, you could see your head going, where's my hip? Where's my hip going? So when we practice, this is why I say, going to range is great. We said this before. Go to range is good, and obviously we're going to play and do some stuff. At home is kind of your revision. Just have a club there without any golf balls. Just put a club across your shoulders and make that move over and over again to the point where you feel really comfortable. Okay, just repetition, yeah? Go into the range is kind of like your mock exam, yeah? We sort of test things out to see how it performs, yeah? Get some feedback. Is the ball going left? Is it going straight? Is it going high, making the ground behind the ball, etc., etc.? Then when you go on the golf course, you just play golf.
Yeah.
And that's something we'll look at the course next time. We want to see this movement better, but what I'll be looking for is whether you're stood over the golf ball and I'll look at your eyes and they're going, are we doing this again? What have I got to try and just see you go stand to that golf ball and it'll just be boom. This is the move I make now, and you'll just turn and twist, yeah? Okay, so does that make sense then, yeah?
Well, it all makes sense.
It's put into practice now.
I think the problem is going to the golf range and hitting 50 balls wrong.
Exactly. So I would suggest for you, and if you want to do this, and I said before, take a video from you from face on in your garden somewhere, yeah? And just make that move. And if you're not sure, I can send a video back to you with me doing it and say, right, here's what we're looking for. Copy me kind of thing, yeah?
You can have a look at this.
Yeah.
We'll see what you think of this.